Greetings, you are listening to A Piece of Metal. Love, peace, and metal to everyone out there. I am Tony Myrick with my two co-hosts. Introduce yourselves.
We got Dennis and
Morgan Danielle.
All right, and today we have another band in our studio, Sins of a Nation. Guys, introduce yourselves.
What's up, everybody? My name's Dave. I play lead guitar.
I'm Dane, the singer.
Hammer the drummer.
Hammer is a drummer. Now that's a hellified name. And I mean, damn. I mean, there's a lot of drummers out there wishing, like, damn, why didn't I call myself that?
How do you think we felt walking into the rehearsal room first time, man? Oh, shit, the drummer's name's Hammer.
It's like, damn, that is cool. That is like...
How'd you guys all end up meeting?
Well, it's kind of a crazy story. I mean...
We're all for crazy stories here.
You got plenty of time.
Oh, well, that works. Well, I remember I joined the band, we kind of formed the band together from the remains of another band, but I was working at Guitar Center over in Naperville, and our old singer, got in contact with me, and like a year later, I finally got a call sitting in like my ex-girlfriend's house. Hey, you want to play lead guitar on this album? And I'm like, oh, okay. And, it ended up not working out, and we ended up, reforming, still like jamming. And our drummer came up with this great idea of blending these styles of metal together, which we all played, but hadn't really been done right now. And we gave, Dane a call up, and that's how he came into the picture, which was pretty cool. And we've been flying pretty high ever since.
what styles of metal would you say you guys are?
That you blended. We're this weird mix of like Disturbed meets Iron Maiden meets like Avenged Sevenfold. It's modern and new, but it's got these these hints of the great the great old styles of metal, which have been so strong even today. And that's kind of the cool thing is we're like this breath of fresh air. With all the hardcore bands going on right now, there seems to be no remains of that as of late, but we're coming out horns up.
How long have you guys been a band?
We've been a full band together. I think we're coming up on our 8th month anniversary, and in that time, it sounds funny because that's a really short amount of time. But we just got back from California about a month or two ago. We recorded out at Silverclad Studios. Some of the albums that have been out there.
Well, that's pretty fucking cool.
Oh, yeah. Actually, the albums that were recorded in this studio were Chemical Wedding by Bruce Dickinson, all of Rob Halford's live albums and his solo albums.
Shit.
I actually got to sing on those mics, which was just surreal for me. It was unbelievable.
Damn. Yeah. See, people don't understand the beauty of stuff of that nature. And it's just really cool. I got to put together another project, so I can get back out there and like doing it, because when I was doing it, I had some fun with it. Have you guys done many shows here in Chicago?
We just played at Reggie's about a week or two ago.
Everybody's playing fucking Reggie's, except my broke cheese eating ass.
It's a cool venue, though.
It is.
I know.
Very cool.
Went in there and I was looking. It's like, okay, the stage is not really a massive stage there, is it? But it's a very intimate, type stage, and if you get like a full crowd in there, you can definitely feel some energy.
Oh yeah, it feels really good in there.
And as far as like what you were saying about your sound being as eclectic as it is, a combination of Avenged Sevenfold, Iron Maiden, which are two greatly awesome bands, and Disturbed.
Love them.
One of the things that I always saw that I wouldn't necessarily call it a problem amongst the bands, but I would say more it's an irritation provided by the industry, where and it happened like around the late 80s, early 90s. Whatever the flavor of the month was, let's go with that.
Oh yeah.
Now, one of the flavor of the months that came about that helped me out was the deep voiced hard rock metal singer, because I don't have that high range thing. So when the deep voice guys started coming, I was like, oh shit, I got a chance I can actually do this. This will actually work for me. Cool. But then you had how many bands, so many, like I said, I like Disturbed, but there's like so many bands out there like them.
Absolutely.
That's one of the things we were thinking.
But like I was telling somebody a long time ago, if you're going to call yourself trying to put together a band of so great, unique, fresh, brand new, never heard of ideas, it's not going to happen, and you're going to wind up sounding like
Mr. Bungle.
Yeah, a sad clone of sad clones because, and we was talking about this on one of our previous shows, what the fuck are you going to do that has not been done? Rock music now, as we know it, is over 60 years old. Heavy metal, believe it or not, is the oldest of the children of rock music. What are you going to do that has not been done? I mean, you got the original riffs that was thrown down by Sabbath, and the vocal patterns that was given by Ozzy, and the crazy guitar leads that we got from Randy Rhoads, and then the intense punch and heavy speed that, Anthrax, Metallica, and Megadeth brought up. What are you going to do? I mean, it's this whole thing of bands that go out of their way trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm sorry, they suck.
I think that's the key. I think we're not trying to reinvent anything. I think we're getting together and we're writing shit that we absolutely love. I mean,
Just
we
do what you want to do
absolutely-
and do it
That's
well.
absolutely right. We get out there and we fucking love what we do.
Hell yes.
Yeah, every show is a party. you know?
Absolutely.
How's your guys' fan base?
We've got a really dedicated fan base. I mean, we get calls every day. We're about to shoot a music video in Peru, Illinois. And we just get all these phone calls. Hey, can I do this music video for you? The guy who's doing it, he is brilliant. I mean, we're talking.
What's his name?
His name's Zach Scott. He's going to Flashpoint. And the kid throws a video on YouTube, and in 3 days, it's got 10,000 hits.
Zach Scott?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, this is an incoming freshman. So we wanted to go with the
Want to keep that name.
Rising,
That's
yeah,
pretty
rising
awesome.
talent. So I mean, he's got it's great camera equipment. He's talking, we'll bring a full setup of lights. Get the smoke machines rolling.
Sounds cool.
Yeah,
Make it entertaining.
yeah. I mean, our fan base is just so great. They come out to every show and they really throw down. I mean,
And they are listening right now?
they are listening right
All
now. We love them all. They're
Absolutely.
they're truly the best fan base we can get. Their respect. Especially being a metalhead of all styles and genres. I've been to a lot of shows, and I love to mosh just like anybody else.
Hell yeah.
And when you go to a show and you see somebody swinging their feet and swinging their fists, and you get kicked in the face, that's not moshing. So we
Yeah,
got
that's like a precursor to a fist fight outside
Yeah,
the parking lot.
yeah, and it leads to many. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I was telling somebody that me at my age, which is a little bit older than the person sitting in front of me, I remember when it was slamming, and in slamming, you just did like a light little shoving and pushing, and every now and then someone would get hurt, only if they missed, the landing spot, when diving off the stage. And yes, there were stage dives back in my day. There's no
I
stage
didn't
dives anymore.
think you were that old.
Oh yeah, I'm there. There are stage dives anymore because of, which is funny, and it's such a contradiction. Well, we don't allow stage dives because of lawsuits if someone gets hurt.
Sounds like a challenge.
But yet, if someone gets up on stage, you and the other bouncers snatch them off, beat the shit out of them within an inch of their life. You don't think you're going to get sued for that? I mean,
we had a stage
bring
dive
back
at
the
our
stage dives. Damn.
We had one at our last show, actually.
What, stage dives?
Yeah, we had a stage. It was an accidental stage dive.
Where was that at?
Oh, it was at Reggie's actually, and you know how you cement floors. The guy lost his microphone and he tried to go after it, and he busted his ankle during.
Hey,
the
a
show.
dive is a dive.
A dive is a dive. Yeah.
I want to do some more dives.
What are some other venues that you guys have played at?
We played Chicago City Limits.
that's cool. Nice.
We've done a lot of basement shows. We tried especially where our rehearsal space is to really make our fans feel like they're a part of this, because that's the thing that really makes a band successful is when you feel like you're a part of something that's bigger than you.
Hell yeah.
Has being out in California helped you get more of a fan base out there as well?
Oh, actually, I walked along Huntington Beach out, in my maiden shirt and my black skinny jeans and handed out demos. And people are like, who are you guys? Like, when are you gigging out here? We're like, as soon as we get the money.
Yeah, absolutely.
How did you guys
That's
end up in
keeping.
California anyway?
Okay, well, this is a cool story. My drummer, we got a call from one of the companies that we're sponsored by, and they're like, hey, we're going out to NAMM show.
Sponsors, damn.
Yeah, we got some
Say the
sponsors.
sponsors. Give it.
Hook us up, man.
We've got we're with AMT Electronics. We're with Spectraflex cables. I play BC Rich guitars. That's
Nice instruments,
they
nice
are-
weapons.
Absolutely, they are weapons of choice. And my other guitar player is endorsed by Bernie Rico Jr., and that's the son of the original maker for BC Rich.
Oh, hell
And
yeah.
They are some crazy instruments. We've got some really awesome names behind this band. But when we went out to California, we originally went back in January for NAMM show with our endorsements, and we got to meet all these people. And I met this guitar player from Lizzie Borden. His name's AC Alexander. Really awesome guy.
I remember them.
Yeah, they're going strong. Actually, they're going to be here at Bada Brew in July. We're going to go see them. But I remember he told me, he's like, man, it's like, you got to come out here to record, because I was telling him we're getting ready to drop an album. And he's like, dude, I got just the place. And so he hooked us up with Joe Floyd from Silver Cloud Recordings. We went out there and we had a couple amps brought in from Angle. We had Angle Powerball 2s, and those, man, you want to talk some heavy amps? Those are the finest.
I'm
guys
playing B-52. That's a nice
You
amp.
can make those beefy.
Yeah, actually, you can. I'm not gonna lie.
EL 34s.
I like the B-52s because it's got like, it's not as heavy as, say, like a Mesa Boogie, but it's definitely heavier than a Marshall.
Absolutely.
And as far as like, punching up, yeah, all of it is just taking out the speakers and just putting in some, heavier cones. But yeah, when I get to scratch, I want to upgrade to some more face pounding stuff.
This is face destroying. The Powerballs are, it's really great when you have an awesome sound, and you get to go into the studio and make it happen, so that all the listeners can hear
Hell yeah.
what's been created.
I want to hear it and feel it. That's, one of the things I like. If I pop it, in a car stereo when I had a car, like crank up all the bass, all the treble, drop all the mids, and just like, hit.
That's how I blew a speaker. My back speakers are busted now because of doing
Well, actually, the piece of shit car that I had, that's how I broke the damn thing. It's like, the speakers were stronger than the car, which I find still to this day disturbing. It's like, damn, my speakers destroyed my car. I don't like that. I like the sounds that I was getting through the car, but the fact that it shook the damn thing apart, I don't think that was supposed to happen. Damn you Toyota people.
Hey, my RAV4 is still kicking pretty good. I feel so cool driving a RAV4, man.
I saw somebody that had a RAV4 the other day, and they had it just like guerrilla warfared out with like black flat-toned spray paint. And you can tell they like hand spray painted the thing. And, there's our sound man, Joe. And they just flat spray painted the thing. And they had some like support bars, because it didn't have no damn roof. They just made like an outdoor adventure Jeep out of it. And what could you hear blasting like almost 2 blocks away before they got close to you but Metallica? I'm like, yeah, them some metalheads. And it was Master of Puppets playing, and as they got close to me, it was like the last few notes of Master. And right after, it was some Motorhead, and it was like, yeah, they're one of us.
They are one of us.
How did you guys end up getting endorsements?
Well, getting endorsements is fun business. First, you need a demo, because if you don't have any music, they don't know what they're investing their time in.
Damn Skippy.
Yeah. So we recorded. We recorded at a place called Farview Recordings out in St. Charles. We got some demos down. And when we went out to NAMM show, I handed out probably a couple hundred demos.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, and it's funny. You sit down at a booth and you shred a little bit, and you get their attention. And then from there, it's basically email communication, and they want to find a band that is going to take their product to the next level. Like, of course, you got Alexi with ESP Guitars, who was playing Jackson way before, but because Jackson wouldn't give him the deal he wanted.
Hell no.
Yeah, well, I love Jackson guitars. They're cool, but I play BC Rich because they're better than Jackson.
I like the new BC Riches, the ones that I would probably get like a plain different design, but I like the ones that Kerry King is playing.
Oh, the
now.
new King V's?
Yeah.
Oh, with the horns?
Yeah,
Oh.
I love them. I want one. But I want to put my own artwork design on.
I don't. It's Kerry. I actually got to meet him when I was at the BC Rich booth. And number one, very cool guy. He's very intimidating. But
Really? Because I heard he was a dick.
he's not a dick if. Okay, how do I phrase this?
Honestly,
He's a dick when he wants to be a dick.
Okay.
I mean, if you're in Slayer, it's Slayer. You know, people shout your name for no reason. You know, exactly.
Show.
Oh, I do it all the time. You know, who wants to hear Freebird, man? I want to hear South of Heaven. Jeez.
Or God Hates Us All.
Or God
which
Hates
is
Us All.
Morgan's favorite.
Yeah.
Of course. You know, my personal Mandatory Suicide's actually one of my favorite jams. It's a really different feel.
Angel of Death is mine. I still hear that crank on, and it's like, okay.
What about Dissident Aggressor? Come on, that's just a.
Okay, I'll go ahead and give you. But I'm sorry, if I had a choice between the two,
That's a classic.
Angel of Death, you know, especially with that breakdown part.
Oh yeah, yeah. Dan loves Slayer.
Absolutely.
How would you describe your vocals? Because I know you threw in like you obviously got David of Disturbed, and then you got Bruce Dickinson of Maiden, and then you got Matt of. How do you combine vocals like that?
Well, I actually sing in a project called Judas Beast, which is around Chicago, which is Iron Maiden
the
and
cover
Judas
band.
Priest, right? Which, hello, guys. Anyway, but anyway, so that is obviously when they heard me, they wanted me to do that kind of stuff. But when I met these guys, and you were talking about the lower vocals and things like that earlier. I like to add new elements to my voice. I don't want to sound like anybody. I want to create my own style. So I would say heavily influenced by Bruce Dickinson, Rob Halford, Bruce, but you know, I mean, I definitely like the raw emotion. That's my favorite thing. I don't like pretty vocals. You know what I mean? Pretty vocals, they suck. They really.
You hear that, glam bands of the 80s whose
Absolutely.
careers are now defunct? We don't like you.
Absolutely. I just like the raw, pure emotion.
Oh, poor Skid Row.
No, I wouldn't say Joe Elliott had pretty vocals. I mean, he was, they were ugly, but those aren't the ugly ones.
He sure is ugly.
He sure is ugly. But anyway, so yeah, I would just say I'm influenced by those guys. But well, and thanks to the guys in Sins of a Nation, I've actually added some new elements to my vocals, and it's a lot of fun because Dave does some backing vocals. So sometimes we get to doing like harmonizing screamo, which I don't know that.
Be
That's
careful with the screamo word, Dane. Be careful. We're gonna put bad taste in people's mouths.
Yeah, I understand, but hey, we got every.
It
element,
is what it
you know?
is. I mean,
that's
it's
what
like,
I'm
you know,
saying.
shit.
That's what I'm saying.
I do screams. I'm not emo.
So this
He
is doing it without vocal lessons, right? You've never.
No, I actually did. I went to a Russian vocal coach one time. I was singing and I was kind of jumping out of key and I was kind of going backwards with my vocals. So I met him and he had me sing a David Bowie song for some reason. I don't know why. Still to this day. No, it was actually Ziggy Stardust.
Oh.
So he heard me do the Ziggy play guitar. He heard me do that, and he said, wait. And I go, what? And he goes, you sound like Bruce Dickinson. And I said, what? And he's like, you sound like Bruce Dickinson when you do that. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. How did you get Bruce Dickinson out of David Bowie? He's like, I don't know, but you got to sing like that. I said, well, I'm kind of trying to get away from that. And he said, that's your natural voice. Go with it. Go with it. Don't get away from it. Just go with it. So, man, those were encouraging words and words of wisdom. Words of wisdom, Lloyd.
Yeah. That's what I was like saying. Because I went to a vocal coach also, Gillian Kelly. Lady has a master's degree. She awesome, beautiful person too. She said the same exact identical thing. She said that when majority of her student base is rock and heavy metal singers. Mm-hmm. And she said the same thing with that guy said to you. The biggest mistake is that we try to sound like our influences, and which, okay, is natural. I mean, this is the person we've been listening to growing up. I want to sound like that. But what she said is that's when you're going to rip and tear your voice apart because you're trying to make it do something that it naturally does not do. Rob Halford's voice is high, screechy, and pitched like that because that's his natural voice. Same thing with Bruce. Yes, it's a good idea to find singers that you are closely toned with and then kind of vibe off of that style, but using your own voice.
Absolutely.
One of my favorite vocalists in metal, well, actually goth rock and metal, and God rest his soul, Peter Steele, Typo Negative.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about a fucking voice, and believe it or not, the guy was able to get some pretty decent highs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Coming from a 6'8", like 300-pound body, that looked like, Herman Munster with long black hair.
Hammer, how did you get your nickname?
He's got to steal his microphone.
I'm gonna take my microphone.
Well, I'm a carpenter by trade, and I'm a drummer. And somebody just came up to me one day and said, well, call yourself Hammer. I wasn't really looking for a nickname or anything like that, but said, screw it. All right, sounds good. So it stuck. So it's been like that for probably about 8-9 years.
And those are the things that actually work out the best. The stuff that's like total accident or it's
Right.
not intended. It's not contrived. It's real.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you're a construction worker. You probably have a heavy hit beat, when you're
Oh,
playing.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Okay,
much.
fucking Hammer, it fits.
We,
It
we,
does.
we feel it across the room, man. He hits that bass drum, and
That's what I want to hear, from my drummers. I don't want to hear somebody do. I'm like, well, okay, what the hell was that? Get the girl back on the drums.
How long have you been playing drums?
About 22 years.
Oh, nice.
Our resident Dennis over there is a drummer himself.
All right.
Yeah, we got a room full of drummers around here. Jeez.
We also have another
also
drummer,
drums.
Joe, our sound man over there. Joe, you want to show some love out here to the people?
Love. There you go.
Hey, Joe.
He's not much of a talker.
Yes, sir.
He'll throw in his little points and quips every now and
Yeah,
then.
when it's insulting me.
It wouldn't be a show without it. But yeah, Joe's a drummer, so I got like some camaraderie with guitar and vocals, and Morgan does vocals also.
Yeah, I was talking to them about that outside.
Yeah, see, this is the thing I love about this show. Real metal people, real metal musicians, we are real.
Oh, yeah.
Not like you fake ass rapping hip hop people out there with your
you.
guns.
Oh, man.
That's right. When we're on stage, we're actually playing the instruments.
Damn
Oh, yeah,
Skippy.
not a
That's some
record,
guy
a CD.
spinning a record and,
Yeah.
you're just like, throwing out some beats holding a 40.
Right.
Holding a 40, I don't really have much of a problem with.
This is done in taste, of course.
Well, yeah, and if it's a tasteful 40.
Of course.
We're going to go ahead and run off on a little break here, but we're going to come back. You're listening to A Piece of Metal here on Slam Internet Radio. Just want to give a quick shout out to Mike. We're broadcasting out of his shop here at PC here, and we are talking with Sins of a Nation. And when we come back, we're going to continue talking with Sins of a Nation. You're listening to A Piece of Metal.
This is our calling to every
we are back here at A Piece of Metal on Slam Internet Radio. And when we went to the break, for those of you that are joining us now, we have a band in the studio, Sins of a Nation. And before we went to the break, I was about to open up discussion again on our continuing topic with the bands we have here about the Chicago music scene. Now, everybody that knows me knows how much I very much greatly love the city of Chicago. I was born and raised here, and God willing, I'm going to die here at the age of 150. Vampire thing, don't bother with that. I'll explain that on another show.
Sparkle.
No. But I also do have some issues being a person that has been in two bands myself and has circulated the Chicago and neighboring suburban scene also about how fucked up the Chicago music scene is. And I said when we come back, you said you had a couple of things you wanted to point out. And again, this is, Slam Internet Radio, you're on A Piece of Metal. Don't hold back.
Oh, we can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, Dave and I were just talking about how the club owners in this city, they almost work against you. You're supposed to be pulling people out of their homes, getting them to your facility. We're supposed to bring them there by playing the music and stuff like that. But it's almost like you're fighting with the bar owners, the club owners, whatever. They're trying to tell you, hey, if you could just jump through this flaming circle, and as you mentioned, come in on Tuesday night and bring 500 people, I'll give you a Thursday night slot at 2 a.m.
Like,
and that's what I'm saying. So yeah, it's like, what do you got to do, man? I mean, we've gone through, Judas Beast, Sins of a Nation, all that kind of stuff. We've brought in hundreds and hundreds of people and never even hear back from the bar owners. So it's really fucked up. It's backwards. I mean, this whole town is upside down. Plus, one other thing I want to say is, all of you people, friends of mine, Dave's, everybody in this room, friends, if you say you're going to go to a fucking show, go to a fucking show.
Thank
God's sake, stop making up the fucking excuses, man. Just get off your dead ass and go. So anyway, yeah, that's the only other thing I wanted to say.
Oh, thanks, Dan.
Well, I can speak from personal experience. When we would do advertisements of shows on our MySpace page, and you do the zip code blocking, and there would be people in the zip code areas of the Double Door. Now, there's apartments upstairs in the Double Door, and there's quite a few people I know that lived in those apartments during the time when we had our band. And for the God-honest life of me, I will never understand this. You live upstairs. All you have to do, you don't have to spend any bus fare. You don't even have to change clothes. All you have to do is just walk downstairs.
You have to go down in your underwear. You have to go down in your underwear.
Oh.
Your pajamas, underwear, what the fuck ever. You're in the building where you live. I mean, it's not like you're going to drink a bunch of beers and, I got to go wait in line in the bathroom. No, just go upstairs and take a piss. Damn, we could not even get the people that lived in the fucking building to come downstairs to see us. And it's like, okay, maybe we're in the wrong city, because I know a couple of guys that have bands out in Arizona and in Texas. And this is today, long after the explosion of Pantera, and they said it's still a kick-ass thing. One of the guys I know, they don't even work. They just play at like this one particular spot every weekend. Granted, they do mostly covers, but they generate enough money where each guy takes home like $600 in his pocket. It's a 4-member band.
Oh, we have one of those here.
So
7-7.
Yeah, it's like $600 each, and okay, I guess if anything, you'd only need a part-time job just for like what the
Benefits.
the health insurance coverage and the benefits, because you're making your main bulk off of what you're doing. And I tell somebody, it's like, okay, are they as big as Metallica or Pantera? No, but they're doing something what I want to do. Wake up in the morning and figure out what songs they're going to play that weekend. I mean, damn, that is a fucking life. Now, if you happen to be, knock out, some originals and become as big as Pantera or Metallica, icing on the cake with the cherry. I don't think it's an impossible goal to achieve, but it has to be a camaraderie between, and we spoke about this on last week's show, of band, and what I mean by band, the band having that same goal and dedication. Audience, what you just said, get off your lazy fucking asses and go to the shows. If you say you're going to come see us, come see us. And venue. It's a combination of all three. And this combination exists in every other city. I want it to start existing here.
Well, I mean, look at where we're from, man. I mean, Chicago, home of the blues. I mean, you walk down.
You would think.
You would hope. I mean, I've played down at Kingston Mines before, and on a Sunday night they still get a decent crowd in it. But I mean, that's Blues Row. That's where the blues was pretty much born in this town. And
yes, it was.
Out out in the
or electrified anyway.
Or electrified blues. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Out in the burbs, especially we get these venues now where we've got a venue out on 59 that doesn't serve alcohol and will give you maybe 10% of the door. I'm not kid you not. My friend's band, they drew 250 people on a Saturday, and they got $200, and the door was $8 to $10.
That's nice.
Now, but tell me this: how much is 250 times 8?
Hold on, we're gonna pull out the old.
Yeah,
calculator.
that's kind of a thing I was thinking about. I'm like, so you tell me this. I mean, if we book a show and we bring just 50 to 100 people, we still get paid decently.
That's kind of a ripoff in a sense.
It's such a ripoff. It's like if the band
250 times
8. Let's just say times 8, just for fun.
Okay.
What venues have you guys played with?
2,000.
In that you
2,000 beans.
That's a lot of money.
That you guys have found to at least treat you guys with the respect that you deserve and actually come through with what you wanted.
So far, actually, Reggie's was really great to us. I would
like to find that out about Reggie's also. I want to play there.
Yeah, Reggie. Yeah. You know what? The people at Reggie's are great. We just threw a cancer benefit over at Reggie's. That's what we played. It was called Mosh for Cancer. We were trying to raise money up to help with brain tumor. Because we have a promoter in New York and she got a brain tumor, so we were trying to do something nice for her. And they lowered the cost of the room. They gave us pretty much free drinks for me all night.
That's sweet.
They they really made you feel at home. Now when we played City Limits too, they did a good job. The sound guy there is fantastic.
Absolutely.
They treated us. Unfortunately, we opened up for Taproot. And there was another band on the bill that we were unaware of, and so was the venue apparently. So that was their bad.
That's not good.
So our set got cut down to a half hour, which was a bummer. But you know what? They paid us. They gave us.
You punched that 30 minutes like.
We kicked that 30 minutes in the testicles pretty bad.
I'm gonna go ahead and give a shout to Abbey Pub over on Elston.
I played there before too. Good place.
Each time my band played there, we got paid. But I mean. We drew people out, but it wasn't a lot of people. But they kept their word. They gave us a percentage of the door, and they gave us all of the door. Wow. It was like $8 per person, and we walked out of there. One show we did, it was like 180, and then another show we did was like 215. It wasn't exactly the kind of money you would go to your boss and say, "Hey, fuck you, man, I'm quitting. I'm a fucking rock star now." No, but. Damn, they kept their word. They gave us our money, and I would definitely when I get another project going to do that. But just by the look, I want to go in Reggie's.
You know what? It feels like an 80s. It feels like an 80s metal club without all the poofy hair. It is just it is a badass. The room is.
I hear the sound system is pretty good too.
It hits you really hard. Yeah. All that concrete. when you hit a chord, you're gonna hear it. Yeah. That's a cool thing.
Yeah,
that's the kind of thing I want. So, whatever the type, say, I don't want to sound like corn cheese here, but other ingredients that go into the pot. Influence from not necessarily from bands, but from other people. Like you were saying, your vocal coach kind of gave you some words of wisdom that stuck in your head.
Lubomir Stamov was his name, by the way.
Oh,
yeah,
I can't even try to pronounce that.
I know.
Now.
Yeah,
It's
it took
Russian.
me about. Yeah, it is Russian.
I thought it was Portuguese.
I'll let you keep plugging his name. You got a better pronunciation over it than I will.
Absolutely.
But yeah, what else is don't want to sound all like mystical and shit, but what makes you? No, I don't know. What vibe and energy do you guys pull from as individual musicians?
As individual musicians, I mean, we have such different backgrounds.
We do.
I mean, I myself, I've been into All the Remains and Killswitch Engage ever since they
Yeah.
were born. I love that, the metal kind of, I don't want to say metalcore because a lot of people confuse that with the angry 6'5" bros swinging their fists around in the air.
Yeah.
No, but that whole Massachusetts scene is fucking
Oh,
amazing.
I know, isn't it? I mean, even oh god, what were they called? Phil always wears this shirt of Adam's old band,
Aftershock?
Aftershock. Thank you,
Morgan.
Have you not watched the
Listen
From the
to-
Bedroom to the Basement Killswitch Engage DVD?
it's-
That's my DVD.
Really? No, that's it's funny. Whenever I see Phil with that shirt, I'm like, it's that whole. And it's funny the scene out there too. I don't know where these bands come from, but it's like everything out there turns to gold. Whereas out here,
Yeah.
like to make it as a metal band, you need $1 million like David Draymond and the luck of Bill Gates. It really
Or you just do a few shows, get some notoriety going, pack your shit, and then move.
Yeah.
Which I never wanted to do, but fuck, man, I don't know. We was talking about a show 2 weeks ago where we were talking about the women of metal, and she brought me a picture of one of their magazine covers, Gates of Babylon.
Oh, yeah.
From Ohio. 5 very beautiful ladies, and in Cleveland, I was talking to one of their friends on the phone, and they were saying that they've always had a nice draw with very minimal promoting, and maybe being a home, I'm sure that they got like a nice little hometown following, but this is something that was told to me from day one, for very minimal promoting, just from going out, putting out word to their friends, hey, we're doing a show, such and such place, such and such time, and then those friends just pretty much just went and spread it about. They would have like a massive crowd of people at their shows. I'm like, Cleveland? Really?
Well, think about where we are. I mean, Chicago is number one, a huge place. There's a lot of different things to do.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest problem is that we've got like this. The clubs are like gangs. Like they're merciless. I mean, they don't want you going to other venues. It's pretty much like. Actually, I almost got kicked out of a venue for trying to hand out flyers for one of our shows at Reggie's.
Yeah.
And how else are bands supposed to make it? We can't play the same place every week.
Just like as you were mentioning, for those musicians and people out there listening, the rule, and it is a rule, and I know this personally because I almost got our band bumped from doing a couple places. If you do a venue, some of them make you sign a contract, some of them will hold you to a verbal contract, but if you do a venue, you cannot do another venue within 2 weeks within a 2-mile radius of said
I've heard
venue.
Of that. Yeah.
Really?
Heard of that.
So,
yeah.
like, if you do the Double Door, well, right across the way is Subterranean, and you got 2 other spots in that same Milwaukee North Avenue area.
Isn't it like Bottom Lounge and Cobra Lounge?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they do sometimes have metal bands, but if you do Double Door, you basically are forbade by law, and said owners and venue promoters at Double Door can sue you if you play within that 2-mile radius. So that's all those spots within that 2-mile radius of Double Door you cannot touch for at least 2 weeks.
But is this all Chicago or is this like suburbs? Because you
Yeah.
know what? There's a lot of better places for bands to play out where I am. Like JD Muggs and Addison, I've played there before. So many people go there and they do the same thing that you were saying about the door. They will give the cut to the band if you played there. Shark City is another one that's big out by me, you know. Even the one that's out in Barrington, the Penny Road
Penny Road Pub, yeah.
You know what's scary about Shark City though is they're talking about not having original bands anymore,
which would be really
yeah.
stupid.
which would be really
Which is
Because
like
they
the
have
Cubby
a lot
Bear.
of good
Yeah.
bands playing there. The Dead Man's Wake is playing there pretty
absolutely.
soon too.
We love Dead Man's Wake, man. Those are our best friends, you know.
Well, that goes back to what we were saying about, you know, these venue owners are like more into money than supporting the bands or the local scene. It's like a lot of places that were original rock venues and original metal venues have switched over their format literally overnight because of, well, we make more money doing the, you know, having a DJ or a CJ come in and, you know, spin some disc, you know, of some like, you know, poppy, like shitty sounding dance music, which, yeah, you get a lot of people in there and they spend more drinks. It's like, okay, you get to the point where like, fuck helping out the local bands. I'm making money. Okay.
right.
And then Chicago, you know, slowly, piece by piece, becomes this shit ass vapid town of
Dance
like
clubs.
wannabe disco
Oh,
clubs.
gosh.
Like, what the fuck is this? Studio 54 popping up all over the place. You know, and
It's not right.
It's not. This is what you were saying. This is a city that has given birth to so many original musicians, and it's just sad. The most successful rock bands and metal bands out of Chicago got discovered outside of Chicago.
Isn't it? You know, it's a shame. You
It
know,
is a shame.
That's the reason why we've been, you know, really, you know, hesitant to sign, you know, any sort of contract with any sort of label around Chicago because honestly, after going out to California, I mean,
Have you been offered?
we've been offered a couple things. We got offered one contract out in Canada, but they are gunning for you. I mean, they see something they want, and they know they can make money off you, and they will take every penny you have. You have to make sure you've got needle drop. You got to make sure that you get the rights to your songs. I mean, it's a really dangerous road out there, especially when we pour our heart and souls out into, you know, putting this album together.
Listen to that very clearly, people. For all you bands coming up, copyright and another thing, and a lot of people make a mistake with this, copyright and get production rights on your shit. Copyrights are important. Production rights are 100 times more important. Case in point, the Beatles. It wasn't until damn near 1970 when the four of them realized, hey, we don't even own our own shit. It's like, you know, we are making all this music and like, you know, selling all these records, but we don't even own our own songs.
They should have just been friends with Gene Simmons.
Oh yeah,
see-
because he makes all the money, right? Yeah.
But then here's the funny thing, and I'm glad you brought up Gene Simmons. What was oddly enough is Gene Simmons' biggest influence of music is the Beatles. He said many interviews over and over again, he wanted to form a band exactly duplicate to the Beatles, but more along the lines of Alice Cooper meets the Beatles. And damn if that's not what Kiss is. You know all four members of Kiss. But Gene Simmons, and a lot of people say this is because he's, you know, a Jew, and I think it's because he's at a very early age, was very shrewd and business-wise. He got production, copyrights, and publication rights on everything Kiss, including, and this is the biggest argument, including the individual characters created by the other two members. I mean, yes, Peter and Chris created, you know, the Catman and Space Ace, but because they were a member of Kiss, and Gene Simmons owns everything Kiss, including Paul Stanley's testicles, you know, Space Ace and Catman are
Dumb.
Thank you.
They gave all their money away to him.
They didn't give it, sweetie. It was already mapped out and done. Oh, wait a minute. And another thing, Gene Simmons did not come up with the name Kiss.
Oh, I believe that. Didn't seem like the kind of...
Peter Criss came up with the name Kiss. And you know how the S has that two, like, ZS? Because he's had that fascination with, Nazism, and he, formatted the S like that, which makes me think a lot about Gene. You're a Jew, and a member of your band formats your band logo that he created.
Maybe
by
that's
the
why
way.
he took his money.
Ooh, that makes a lot of sense.
He makes it into an SS symbol. And you're perfectly okay with that?
Well, you know what? Listen to what Gene said. I remember in an interview he said, "Kiss is not a band; it's a franchise." I mean, that is
Kiss
Kiss Monopoly. That's when you know you're selling out.
I mean, you'll never see a Sins of a Nation Monopoly coming out. Sorry.
The Kiss coffin was like, okay.
Yeah.
That's just creepy.
Okay, Dime deserved to be buried in something as
And
cool as that.
he remains to be the only person buried in a Kiss coffin. By the way, I don't know if you know your metal history, was also buried in a Kiss coffin, but is also buried with Eddie Van Halen's first guitar.
The black and yellow.
I was going to ask you guys, talking about production rates and everything, about your album. We actually listened to one of the songs before we jumped back into the interview with you guys. What was the influence? I mean, what do you see as the theme of this album compared to the other music that you guys have written?
Well, the theme of it's actually funny. The name Sins of a Nation came to us when we were sitting down with a friend and we were talking about we hate politicians, especially just gonna say it out here in Chicago. We got a lot of dirty, conniving people who just rob,
Filthy, dirt,
they
rat,
rob,
stank, dirty motherfuckers.
They rob us. I mean, it's really hard to believe that this
A
country,
prostitute's vagina is cleaner than some of these bastards out here.
Damn straight, absolutely. And that's one of the things that my friend has. My friend Matt Perelli's got these 7 deadly sins tattoos on his back, and I'm like, man, I really like the word sins. And my drummer Frank's like, man, I really like the word nations. And you know what? This guy is just a genius.
What actually happened? It came about where just kind of went on Google, checked out some cool band names or whatever, and one of the cool names was Sins of Allegiance. And then we just sat around the table in the garage, and his buddy was over, and he goes, "How about Sin?" And then there was another cool name, 2 Day Nation. So what we did was we just kind of combined the two, but his friend kind of came up with that concept of combining the two names.
That kicks ass.
Yeah, and we figured, hey, when you're sitting around, you have all 5 members, all of a sudden everybody goes, whoa, and then they all look at each other with a big smile. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much what happened. Yeah. So, it stuck, and we like it.
Well, the other thing, about it is we feel very strongly, we love this country. This is the greatest place in the whole world. This is, a little piece of heaven right here.
Rock on. United States.
United States, but
Fuck
you. And that's one of the things is we feel like there aren't many people who are standing up for what's good and right in this world. And you know what better way to do it than, with guitars and drums blazing, and spreading a word.
Yes.
Well, we're being duped. People are just sitting on their asses, not knowing what's going on. There could be so much changed right now. We could be doing so much better. And the sins of this nation, are everywhere. So that's kind of our it's not only to put out great music, but to open up the eyes of our listeners that, hey, we can stand up and we can make a difference, whether it's just by going out and supporting a band or going out to a fundraiser and trying to help, somebody out who, could really use it,
Well, it's like what Ted Nugent said some while back, and me and Ted's views are pretty close to each other. We're both like, hard-nosed, hard-edged conservatives.
You like guns.
But I love guns, and I am a strong supporter and a member of the NRA.
Same here.
Hell yes, brother. Hell yes. Do not fuck with my Second Amendment right, okay? But at the same time, I was telling somebody, I'm at a point now where I no longer claim either Democrat nor Republican. I was a Democrat for many years, and then I flipped over on the other side of the fence, and now I've completely disillusioned myself with both of them. Neither one of you are worth shit. You got one that wants to point fingers and say it's your fault, and then you got another one that says, well, it's not our fault, but what we want to do is, okay, who gives a fuck? The end result is nothing is getting done.
Yeah.
So you know what? Both of you are jackasses. That's why when Jesse Ventura was like governor of Minnesota, I was like, why the fuck not? Why not? Let's put, a celebrity in office. California had one for a few years, and until this economy crunch hit, was doing pretty damn good.
Hey, California's a lot of fun still.
We're going to go to another break real quick, but when we come back, we're going to be talking with Sins of a Nation. We're going to go ahead and continue this very, theological discussion on, the, not necessarily the politics, but just, the ethics of music and metal in the United States. Come back here and listen to us on A Piece of Metal on Slam Internet Radio. We are back here at A Piece of Metal on Slam Internet Radio. We are talking with Sins of a Nation, and we were actually having some pretty good, lively moments here, and some very nice, deep, introspective discussions. Which, for those of you out there that aren't very familiar with metal, we're fucking smarter than all of you. Believe it or not. Yes, we do read. We know how to use the English grammar.
Good point.
There's that timing thing we were talking
Hey,
about.
smell my ass. I fuck up every now and then. I'm 45 years old. I'm allowed to do that. And like I said, we're smarter than you. Was talking about dislikes, and again, I just want to go in dislikes of the Chicago music scene. We're not trying to slam on the Chicago music scene. We're not trying to put down every venue owner and say that you all are assholes. We're just saying, like, God damn, can you throw us a couple of bones at least? We're not asking for much. We just want, when you have a large band that has a massive following, or at least a large enough venue where there's more than 300 people in your place, put some local acts, up in front of them. I mean, you're getting your bar cover. And even if you don't give those opening bands any money, which I've experienced that more than a few fucking dozen times, at least they're getting exposure of the audience. That's all what we're asking.
Absolutely.
We're not saying that, you're bad people or you're evil people. Some of you are evil people, and there's a special place in hell waiting for you. But for the rest of you, come on now. Shit. You got in Chicago over...
That is the coolest.
Yet again.
That was awesome.
That was some nice shredding thrown in there
Yeah,
by
that
our
was-
sound man. That was pretty damn good.
That beats
was
my
pretty good.
ringtone.
Like that.
Damn, that's a keeper.
We're just saying, help some motherfuckers out a little bit. Like, damn, come on. Throw some bones, with a little bit of meat on it. Just a little.
Just a wee bit.
Yeah, we're not asking for much.
Yeah.
All right, and we were talking about, the influences of politics within heavy metal, and there's a lot of that within metal.
Well, unfortunately, I think that's part of the problem is that the metal scene in Chicago is political, and I mean, if metal is supposed to be against politics, we're supposed to stand up for what we believe in. However,
Exactly.
if you have one band that's doing better than another, and that other band sees an opportunity to fuck the first band, they will take that opportunity most
Quickly.
times. Yeah,
Easily.
So, which really isn't that just politics in a nutshell?
Yes, it
Stepping
is.
on everybody on your way up.
Well, it's funny. I look back at
I thought this was America.
I'm sitting on the floor. I kind of got uncomfortable of standing.
I was wondering where she is.
I'm hiding behind Dennis's ass. So if he farts, I get it. Like,
Well, then again, if anybody does in this room, I think we're all going to know about
It'll be silent, I'm sure.
it. But definitely.
silent yet deadly.
Yes.
One of the things that I remember in those interviews with Metallica was when they first went out to New York, they literally, I think between the combined four of them had, what, $20?
The hand sandwiches.
Yeah.
Method of getting
And
by.
sandwich.
And Tony Z put them up a place to stay at the rehearsal spot where all the bands there played because, well, for one, he didn't want his fucking house destroyed and lose his wife in the process after they came and drank up all of his liquor. But they literally did not have a damn thing. Nothing. And Anthrax, Scott Iron was saying we gave them a microwave and like a little hibachi type thing so they can heat some hot dogs and some bologna on and eat that. And like a lot of people was like, well, damn, that was a lot. It's like, sweetie, you don't understand. That may as well have been like an expensive dinner at a gourmet restaurant. They reached out and Anthrax were the big boys at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, okay, and it only took like a few short years, Metallica surpassed them so fast, but there was no hatred, no animosity or nothing.
Of course not.
It's like, hey, we were proud of the fact that we were able to help this band become this super huge, gigantic, very bloated, rich monster that they are now. But we still love them.
Of course.
But, it's like, you don't have that enough with bands. We played with some bands here that we won't mention names, even though they fucking deserve it, but we won't mention them, and you know who you are, that we would go up and like do shows with them, and we was like, hey man, that was a cool set. That was a nice set. We sat through the whole entire set. And damn, when we got up on stage, these sons of bitches didn't even have the decency to stay inside while we were playing.
Tell me about
I'm like, you ass-smelling bunch of bastards, you.
Yeah.
Fuck you and the woman that dropped you on the street corner.
Yeah, absolutely. Man.
That's you know what the show we just played. We had some conflict with one of the bands.
Again, we're not mentioning
No, we're
names. You
not.
know who you are.
We're not gonna mention names, but you know what? There was some disrespect towards us and some of the other bands, and the other bands heard about it. And as soon as they jumped up on stage, they walked out because they treated those other
Damn
bands better.
cool.
You know what? And you know what? That's one of the things about metalheads is, you know what? If you're cool with us, if you treat us well and you respect us, we're gonna be there. You're not gonna be at every show. We're gonna be.
Oh, we're gonna be there though.
Oh, exactly. But
Oh yeah.
if you bite us in the ass, you better watch out.
Okay, yeah, we will come back on you, like elephants, and nobody comes back at anybody like elephants.
Because they're big.
And they got big memories.
Large tusks.
Yes, they do. But yeah, we were actually talking about politics and everything, and earlier I didn't chime in. Surprisingly, I think I fell asleep here for a second. But anyways, I was just getting ready to say when I joined this band, they had already had the name Sins of a Nation, and I just thought that was cool because to me, yes. To me, well, that's okay. Hey,
Dan gets theme music.
I like theme music. I'm used
No,
to
this
it.
YouTube's fucking up right now, so I'm trying to get everything together for the next break.
I
we're
got
gonna
you.
sue- we're gonna sue
No big
YouTube.
deal. But anyway, what I always thought about politicians is, they're trying to play God. I mean, they go up there, they stand behind a podium, and they tell you how perfect they are. That right there should tell you how fucked up they are, because there is nobody perfect but God. So they're trying to play God. So when I heard the name Sins of a Nation, I'm like, that is absolutely
Is that a drag
perfect.
queen
Very
outside?
apropos.
It is a drag queen. Lord, I got
What the
theme music.
fuck is
Drag.
going on
kidding
over
me.
there?
You're kidding me. Where?
Yeah.
I missed
In the
it.
Or
glitter
going right across the street.
dress and the nasty.
For those of you who haven't
heels.
seen the studio, we have a big window here with Chicago people. It's pretty cool.
Well, he's in the one of the windows.
I see the sparkle.
It's over
Yeah,
there.
it
Yeah.
is over there.
he or she is very
That's
dressed
a he.
well.
Just stick to it. Oh,
Yeah.
it's turning around.
don't look.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a man.
Oh my
Oh, boy.
god!
Oh, it's a
like
very
out of
large man.
Rocky
Oh,
There you go, Tony.
Horror Show.
Approaching a
Hey,
big
I like
group of-
large women, not large confused individuals about their sexuality.
Yeah. Well, he's got
It's like
that
hitting
elegance
on
thing down,
those
doesn't he?
nice men over there.
Yeah. Well, for
I
any
think
of
that
you,
guy realizes-
for any of you people
I was
looking
looking
for a
at me.
large,
They're waving to us. Hi.
I'm not gonna
Oh,
wave.
boy.
I hope they're not listening.
Oh wait.
There's another one.
Come on, man.
I think there's 3. I think I see 2 more.
Oh.
For anyone looking for large men dressed in
Yes.
women's clothing, you can go to the Portage Theater. They hang out.
Oh,
there.
Called
They're
Love
filling in.
Evaluated.
There we go. It's a live show going on there. We just
I
gave
think
them-
it's
Actually, that was
strange.
last week.
Oh, okay. Maybe we're all off date here.
Get back to talking
getting
about
back
Kiss
to
again.
What you back to what he was saying
Men
about
and
the politics and politicians. The politician that I was saying that I would trust most is the person that comes out and just very bluntly says what they're going to do, whether you like it or not.
I want
He's
that
not trying to be your friend. He's not trying to tap into your emotional core. No, he's saying this is what needs to be done. This is what I'm going to propose to do it. I've always said to people that if I were to ever run for president, what I would literally do as my campaign speech, I would literally just air out all my dirty laundry. My likes, dislikes, my good points, bad points, every fucked up thing about me. And the reason being,
But you didn't inhale.
fuck that. I puffed, inhaled, and swallowed.
Snorted.
And
What are you talking about?
if I
Tony?
can afford it,
Apparently he swallowed.
I swallowed the smoke. I swallowed the smoke.
Tony
Going after
for
drag queens, now he's
2015.
swallowing. What's going on?
Oh man.
But I would do that just simply for the fact that, okay, I got nothing to hide behind now. All my dirty laundry is out on the table. I have no shields. Anything that the American people is going to find out about me from this point is some new shit, and 9 times out of 10 it's probably a lie. Because if it didn't come from me, it ain't true. Now that could work either one of two ways. It would either get me a landslide victory, or I'd probably be out right after that speech.
See, that's the problem too, though, is that you're talking about a guy that's going to come out and tell the truth. And that's kind of why I love the name Sins of a Nation, too, because it's the people's fault as well.
Yes.
Because they want to be lied to. People want to be lied to.
We accept it. We accept it
Absolutely.
like Captain Crunch cereal.
Right.
Shit.
It cuts the roof of your mouth, man.
And he's not a captain.
Right. As a singer, everybody knows the singer joke. You know, they don't carry anything. You know, they're the last one in and first one to leave. They don't carry any gear, whatever. So as a singer, you know you get a bad reputation. Now, I am the kind of guy that just says what's on my brain. I am the kind of guy that says what's on my mind.
Me
and
too.
I will tell you, I get villainized so much. Is that a word, villainized?
Yes,
I don't know.
it
I'm
is.
tired. Anyway,
Yeah, Morgan, you're that kind of
but
guy?
Anyway,
I'm not a guy.
She's that kind of
I
singer.
meant
learning new
I
things
am
tonight.
the same type of person.
but right, don't you get villainized for
Oh,
it?
yeah.
And people hate you for it because you tell the truth.
Without even knowing who or what kind of a person you are.
Absolutely,
At first.
because they want me to lie to them. However, I'm not going to do that. I am me, and this is who I am. This is what I'm going to do. I have pissed off so many people in crowds. I've been met in alleys with pipes. But I don't give a fuck. You ain't gonna stop me, man. I got
No,
a big mouth.
Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep
Absolutely,
saying it.
man.
That's one of the things that we expect from people of more. That's one of the things I also like about metal is that just going back a little bit of history here. Elvis Presley was being interviewed one time, and a news reporter asked him. Now, granted, this was back in his younger years, so we're talking about 56, 57. The guy asked him, so what are your political views? Now, think about this now. Elvis Presley, we know him as a cool guy, but think about it. We're talking about a guy that comes from the deep south in the early to mid 50s. Okay. Elvis immediately squashes the guy right then and there. Hey, look, man, you got your views and I got my views. I prefer to keep my views to myself. Now, it wasn't to say that Elvis's views were fucked up or racist or whatever, which we know he wasn't racist, but his views were probably more of such a conservative nature that it would have turned off a lot of people in the other parts of the country that was getting into his music. So a lot of people would look at that today as being a coward. Well, it's not that. It's just that the times are different. The times now is, I want to know what your political views are. I want to know where you stand on certain subjects. You know, whether even if I agree with them or not, I want to know how you feel about shit. You just took my money, to buy, your CD. I want to know where you stand on shit. Now, at the same token, you don't go off on the deep side of the dark side of the moon and come out like Fred Durst and speak in such a manner where you offend every fucking body.
I think everybody hates Fred Durst.
And they hate Fred Durst not by what he stands for, what he believes in, but how he said it. It's like nobody's going to agree with everything you say, plain and simple.
Right.
They're not a metal band, but the Dixie Chicks, like when they
Chicks
made
with dicks.
I think
got
that's
across
awesome
the street.
outside.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, when they made that statement about they were ashamed that George Bush was from Texas. Okay, country music has an audience base of a good 90% Republican, based listeners that didn't, or at least conservative listeners that did not, roll with that statement too tough, and it seriously did hurt them. However, I admire them for saying it. Whether your person agrees with it or not,
Peace.
say it.
I don't know. Some guy passed the window
Oh, okay.
and threw me the peace sign. I was like,
You have to say it, and there are ways that you can say things where not everybody's going to agree with you, but people shouldn't have to hate you. Now, you're going to have some jerk out there that's going to hate you for what you say and for what you believe. Dude, you keep saying what you need to say. If it's in you, say it. I'm the same way. And that's why I was telling somebody, one of my, I guess for the past 15 years, bigger influences as far as like music and just taking an approach to things is Ted Nugent. Ted Nugent don't give a rat's ass what the fuck you think about him. He's going to say what he's going to say, and that's it. You don't like it? fine. You do like it? Let's rock on and have a good show. Like, I watched on YouTube that one show he did where he talked to shit about Obama.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
And just to clear it up, he was talking shit about Obama because Obama is a very strong component with banning firearms.
Right.
Which
Ugh.
is not cool.
Not
Do
cool at
not
all.
fuck with my Second Amendment right.
Absolutely.
One of the biggest things I got into arguments with people about, well, guns kill people. I mean, look how many people have been killed by
People
guns
kill people.
from irresponsible gun owners and blah, blah, blah. And I told this one lady, you know what? Then based on that argument, we should ban cars also. Because nobody has been killed by more than a drunk driver.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
How many people have been killed in Chicago in 1 year? Okay, 2 to 3,000. That's a pretty high fucking number. Yes. How many people have been killed by drunk drivers? 15,000.
Oh yeah.
So you know what? Let's ban those cars. You know, have our lawmakers and police officers to go and state troopers to take those car keys away from people. Oh yeah, you got a $200,000 Rolls Royce? Not anymore. You don't.
Yeah.
You know, stay off my Second Amendment right. I will come looking for you.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, that's one of those things, especially with the rights as we have as American citizens, where we feel like we're getting those taken away. It's the same
Daily.
thing. It's daily, and it's the same thing in music. We feel like as musicians, we're being given less and less opportunities because we have these clubs who are just shoving kicking the doors in our face. And same thing goes with these labels sometimes. And
Oh God! Don't get me started on the fucking labels.
Well, look at what, and this is a band from out in the burbs that you have a band called AM Taxi, and their label was treating them bad, and you know what? They ditched their label, and this was
Sue me.
yeah, and that was a pretty big label too, and I commend them for that, especially when it's so hard to get your name out there, as an up and coming talent, and that's one of the things that as a bunch
Yeah,
of
because
guys.
unlike rap individuals, we're not going to go and shoot and kill somebody for street credit.
Oh.
No, we're going to do it the right way. We're going to drag somebody out on the street and beat them to death.
That's right.
Oh, and that's what Dane does to people.
That is what I do to
Only if they deserve it.
while stage diving.
While stage dive. Oh yeah, that's well.
Ooh, you just took a shot at somebody. I think you know who
You
you
guys
are.
have mentioned problems with labels.
Oh yes.
I was just wondering if there's a label out there that you think would be fitting for you guys to want to work with eventually, or do you see yourselves as one of those bands to
Local
be
or nationally?
self-producing?
We know we got a couple. I mean,
Yeah.
one of them is Nuclear Blast, which has a great list of bands on their bill. Same thing goes with Roadrunner. And Roadrunner has probably put some of the forerunner there. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Rob Zombie is my god.
Oh man, Rob Zombie is one of those people who not only is he an amazing musician, but the guy makes the best movies in the industry.
I didn't like his versions of Halloween.
Halloween.
Okay,
I
fine.
like the original.
Please tell me
Okay.
you guys have seen El Super Beasto.
Okay,
Yes.
absolutely.
I haven't seen that one
There we
yet.
go.
Now,
you need to see it. That's like triple X-ray Looney Tunes.
Halloween 1 was good.
Awesome.
No, I'm
2
talking.
wasn't good.
I'm talking about. I'm talking about Devil's Rejects, please.
House of a Thousand
And,
Corpses.
and no,
Rejects.
better than Devil's Rejects, but House of Devil's
Rejects.
Rejects was way different. It had more of a let's go. It was the Skinner theme that just constantly played with me.
Too much blood.
If I leave for the morning.
But that's the thing about Rob Zombie and bands like Slipknot and Trivia, bands that are on that label. Look at how far they've come, and look at how many kids are out there.
Typo negative.
Yeah, and they don't care. You see a Slipknot fan, sporting his T-shirt, doing his thing. They don't care because
No, they do not.
they've been given something that they can stand by. That's how we feel about our music and about our fans. Is we want to give them something to stand by.
Well, by the way, Slipknot was signed here in Illinois.
What are they really?
Kick ass.
How is
They were
that
signed out of
possible?
Illinois. I don't know. We outsourced.
Oh, there's a first.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but I got to represent Iowa right here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Iowa man,
of
right
course.
there.
Oh, you can represent Iowa.
Yeah.
You guys put out some good bands.
Yeah, and I think the labels. I think we'll find out
pronounced it
which
wrong.
label, because I've actually talked with several labels in the past, and they will try and tell you how many slow songs you should have on your album, what the subject matter should be, how many minutes each song should be.
Yeah.
Those kinds of labels I absolutely will not work with. I don't
Those
care
are
how
the
much
labels
money they
that
pay
have
me.
given birth to the independent label industry. But then again,
Yes.
the independent label industry is just as now, well, not all the independent labels, but quite a few of them now are just as corrupt.
Oh, absolutely.
Corrupt financially, with these restraints on the bands. Like, okay, come on, man. I thought you said you liked our music. Yeah, we like it, but we want you to do this with it.
Right.
You know what? Fuck it. We're going to go ahead and sell our own shit off the internet. Our songs are copyrighted, our songs are published. We're going to do our own deal.
Well, the other thing they're doing now, most of the labels, the big labels at least, is they're taking the merchandise now. They're taking everything.
That's not
They're
right.
taking about 80% of everything. So the band,
Winds up
you're
owing them
really,
money.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're really selling your soul to the devil here just to get the fame, but you're not really getting the fortune. I mean, there's big bands out there that I'm aware of that still have to have a full-time job.
They had to jack
Which
up.
sucks.
Yeah, it does suck.
And that's hard with how much touring you have to do to
Absolutely.
make that. To keep a job and have to tour at least most of the year is just insane.
It's impossible. And it's funny. I went to a show a couple months ago, Drowning Pool, and I love Drowning Pool. They're an awesome band. And I walked into the merch area, and I saw T-shirts for $40. And
Usually the t-shirts go for like 10 or maximum 15.
Absolutely.
Or 20. Yeah,
Or,
20.
20 is $15 to $20 is a fair price. And I walked up and I asked the
I
guy.
can live with that.
Yeah, and I asked the guy from the merch booth. I'm like, why the heck are T-shirts $40? And he said, because they took all the rights to most of our stuff. We have to make our money back through our T-shirts because we're not making any money from ticket sales, any money from anything. And
That's a fucking damn
it's a
shame.
joke.
it is, and
It's a
I
joke.
know the guitar player in Drowning Pool. CJ's a great guy, with BC Rich Guitars, and he's an awesome musician. And I'm like, you tour the country and play these big shows, but you know what? How is it fair that the labels are taking everything from you?
And we cannot. I'm sorry. We cannot talk about merchandise and stuff without mentioning 3PO. Our guy
God.
Matt Proposio. He does
He's
all of
a-
our stage stuff.
Guys,
if you've ever seen a Judas Beast show, he does all the eddies and everything. The
Cool.
kid is so talented. He's done all the work for our CD. We love you, 3PO. Matt Proposio, you are the man. He's got to get paid. We're not letting the record labels take his money. This,
Oh,
this
God,
kid,
no.
this kid should be making $500,000 a year.
Easily.
He's one of the most talented people I know. I absolutely love the kid, and that is another reason we need to shop labels. We are going to shop labels. We are going to look
Absolutely.
around. We're going to find the right guys that are going to treat not only
Well, if a
us
band
right,
does
but
it
him.
right, they can force a label to come down to their terms. Now, not that I'm going to rant on and give major support to the labels, but business-wise, and that's another thing that a lot of people forget about. This is called the music business. If you don't think that's what it is, ask Gene Simmons. Who pretty much has the labels by their testicles, because it's like, okay, you piss him off, more than likely you're probably going to be out of a job tomorrow morning. Gene makes a phone call. But for the rest of us that don't have that kind of power yet, it's a thing of, I understand that they have to make money also. But in the old days, the bands and the labels both made money. Now, of course, the label made significantly more money than the band, but the band was able to take home a nice sack of change also.
Absolutely.
And people were talking about, well, how's it that these rap guys make so much more money over metal bands?
Me off.
Well, first off, the labels are scared to fuck with any one of them because they'll get shot. Which, if you think about, the background that some of these rappers come from, I just got out of prison. You just fucked me out of $120 million. What? Going back to prison don't mean shit to me.
It's a music mafia.
You know,
That's
it's
all.
like,
That's all
okay,
it is.
Give this man his money.
Yeah, but a lot of them also own their own record labels, and they own their own studios too.
Yeah, Master
and-
P.
and
He owns his
exactly.
owns his own distribution company.
I mean, isn't Roadrunner owned by Def Jam Records
Yes.
Yeah.
or something like that, right? Yeah. So they own their own labels too, and they all get a cut out of that, which it's a smart business move. So somebody's guiding them in the right direction.
Again, throw a couple of bones to the fucking band. It's their music, and that band that you're making all this money off of. I mean, like, damn, you know, the music industry is, and again, I still want to put together another band and further my goals and aspirations in it. But understand, after going through what I've been through, I know I'm going to be dealing with a bunch of straight up gangsters. I know this, I accept it, and this time around, I'm keeping a very shrewd head about it because I know I'm going up against a guy that has made millions with this. And I don't want to become his next mook that's going to buy his daughter's, home somewhere in South Florida while I still have to, work at a grocery store, mop floors. Oh, and get ready for a tour.
That's
Hey, boss, I'm going to need the next 6 months off. I'm going on tour. No, Tony, I can only give you 30 days. Oh, okay. Well, here's my 2-week notice.
And that's one of the things that, as a band, we've thought about the music business. One of the things about our shows is it's an actual show. It's not just a bunch of guys standing up there. We have setups and props. We really bring the stage alive. And if
I like that.
Yeah, if you want to see that July 3rd, come on out to Q's Billiards.
Yeah, that's right. Plug your shows. Plug your shit.
Yeah, July 3rd will actually be Sins of a Nation and Judas Beast.
Oh, it's a double whammy.
I will be a tired puppy at the end of that show.
You're not gonna have a voice.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You'd be so he can go for a while.
I can go. Yeah, I can.
This guy.
I can definitely go. For
Where you playing at?
Q's Billiards in Darien. I know it sounds like a freaking Q's Billiards, but
it's pretty sick.
They actually have a live showroom.
Okay.
So it's a really cool place. It's
You guys
July
are playing
3rd.
in Darien?
Yeah, Darien.
You guys got a CD out?
Oh yeah, we've
Plug, man,
our
plug.
CD is just about to drop. Some of the
Yeah.
tracks you're hearing tonight, usually the song right before we jump back into these live broadcasts, are off of our new album, which is self-titled. The album artwork was actually done by Cam Rackham. You would know him as the artist for Avenged Sevenfold, and his work is unbelievable. You'll get to see some of Cam's work on our album cover. And it's really something special. Our listeners are going to really, really love what they hear, especially with this being the first time they're getting to hear it. It's pretty. We made some magic in that studio.
Yeah, and you'll have to check out. For now, you'll have to check out MySpace, Nation of Sins, and then also Facebook, Sins of a Nation.
Yeah, go click the like on the Facebook page.
Yeah,
that
click
that
like.
helps us. That makes us. People are happy when the numbers are high. So.
Right, and when the album drops in a couple weeks, we will have the actual Sins of a Nation page. We would just want them to coincide the same exact time. So we're going to do sinsofanation.com. So remember that, Sins of a Nation.
Now, do you guys have any other merch as well? Because I noticed you have a T-shirt on.
we got
for-
Yes.
Cool script on that
Yes,
shirt.
a
man.
T-shirt.
I'm all about making up cool scripting tips.
Absolutely, and the back of this says "Bow Down to Me," which was the first song we came in with. Was "Bow Down," the first song we wrote together, and nice and submissive. Bow down to me. So people like the shirt. And yeah, we actually will be doing album cover shirts. We're going to be doing hats. We're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. We are big merch guys, and we're always going to do quality merch.
Hey, in words of Gene Simmons, if it exists, it should have Kiss on it.
Is there a theme to this album? Like, I know we're talking like politics and everything, but every song that you've written, is it personal to you guys?
This album's a emotion, right? It
Well,
just flows.
it's-
It's a flow of emotion.
It's funny. We started writing this album months ago. I had just come out of a really tough time in my life. From breakups to school stuff to money and being out of a job, and that really fueled this album. I wrote some lyrics here and there. Dane writes majority of the lyrics, but especially you're able to tell when it's me and when it's Dane, because I write like a 17-year-old emo girl sometimes.
Right.
not total. No, just kidding. But no, a lot of the lyrics were very personal to me, and I know to Dane as well. And we really put a lot of ourselves in the music because we're out here trying to show people what we're about. And give them a little bit of a glimpse into our lives.
Are there any particular lyrics that you could say kind of almost define the band or define a certain song that stick out the most?
Oh wow.
That's
Wow.
a
Or
really
any
tough.
like particular lines?
Hey,
that you
how's
would-
about save that, and we're gonna continue on that when we come back from this last
Gives them
break.
time to think too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
We'll
And
take
like-
some time to think that one.
Yeah, and put some juice behind that one. We're going to take a break here, and we're going to come back. You're listening to A Piece of Metal with Sins of a Nation. You're going to rock out to some music and bring your asses back. I mean this, people. I will fucking come looking for you.
Every day they draw conclusions and they're still prepared for war.
Yeah, we are back here on Slam Internet Radio. You are listening to A Piece of Metal, and if you hear chairs and lots of clinking and clanking stuff, it's because we're just now piling back into the studio booth here. You're jamming and listening to the music of and listening to the words of Sins of a Nation. And what was the last thing we were speaking about that we wanted to come back to?
I'll talk about the lyrics in the
He
album.
wanted to talk about the other two members.
Yeah, I want to
that are-
mention the other two
Yeah.
members of the band, Riff Sorsey, one of the founding members, lead guitarist also, and our bassist Dusty. And they're out there. One of them's working late, and the other one's in Columbus, Ohio. So I
crazy
want to give a
bassist
shout out to the
Dusty.
crazy bastards of both of them.
Love, Piece of Metal, the both
guys.
of you.
Oh yeah.
And then your influence lyrically.
Lyrically on the album, I don't know, man. You
Come
guys-
clean.
You guys take it. I don't know.
Dane.
Everybody likes the lyrics. Strike a match. It smells in here. I say on bow down, just because when people are bullshitting you, it does smell. Like bullshit. So, there's a few in Never Say Die. There's a few good lyrics in there. A
few.
Oh man, they're freaking. They're slipping me. I don't know. I just sang them for 3 months straight.
They're good lyrics.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows
I
how
have
to
no
write
doubt.
lyrics. He really, really does. He's good at what he does.
One of the things about the words to our songs is they really grab you. I mean, every line is kind of. We actually have a song called "Lethal Injection," and it's funny because I write a lot of his songs, but the way I do it is really weird because I'll be sleeping at 3 a.m. and then all of a sudden I'll start hearing something in my head, and I'll have to record it, or else I won't sleep for the next week. So I'll jump up, and I recorded most of our album at 4 a.m. But this song "Lethal Injection" is, and if Dane will take it over.
Well, yeah, he actually wrote this song and he played it, and within 2 seconds, I'm like, oh, this is a song about selling your soul to the devil, and I wanna write it about losing your battle with the devil every day and everything. So I went and wrote this.
The devil being
the devil being that battle that you lose every day when you know you're gonna do some wrong shit and you just do it. So I talk about this unfortunate character who is writing to his family. He's getting ready to be killed, lethal injection. He's writing to his family, and he's telling them a bullshit story. He met the devil, and the devil made him do it, and this and that. He killed people, raped people, robbed people, whatever. And then when he's finally getting ready to be injected, the devil actually appears right next to him and says, "Thank you," and basically takes him to hell where he belongs and things like that. But anyways, but yeah, it was just the minute I heard that song, I knew right where it was going to go. And the way Dave writes his songs, I hear him right away. He sent me one that was drop A the other day, and I'm like, I have the song written, and he sent me
kidding.
30 seconds. So
Already?
Yeah, already.
Oh my god,
So-
I got 3 more songs.
yeah, we actually have the new album. Our next album, we think we're gonna probably do out in L.A. again with Joe, and but we actually already started writing for that one. We haven't even had the CD release party for this one yet, because hey, man, when you got the wave, man, ride that fucker.
ride it all the way until it filters out. Hopefully you catch a tsunami on it.
I hopefully yes.
Likes me some salami.
He does like some
Stop!
salami.
You're making me hungry.
Do you guys have a date and place for the
Donuts?
CD release yet? Or
We are trying to right now. We're going to be releasing that through our website on Facebook. On Facebook mostly. We're thinking around August, if not sooner.
If I may make a suggestion, a good idea for that CD release party is to have some beer, pizza, and have a live broadcast of A Piece of Metal for that CD release party.
Absolutely.
I think that would be
Absolutely.
a mighty fine idea.
I'm just throwing a little suggestion out there.
Absolutely.
I'm a shrewd, greedy bastard myself, even though my last name isn't Simmons.
Hey, you know what? I think we could definitely make that work. And what we're going to try to do is we're going to have our friends Dead Men's Wake on the bill. That's for sure. They're an awesome
cool.
band. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a party. So as soon as we figure that out, we're going to be releasing that up on the page. But we'll have physical copies of the album within the next maybe 2 to 3 weeks at the most.
Yes, 2 to 3 weeks, and yeah, just man, when the CD comes out, just fucking buy it. You are not going to regret it. I promise you.
Keep those eyes open for that, because A Piece of Metal will be at that CD release party. And
Absolutely.
definitely keep your eyes and ears open for that CD.
Oh yeah.
Is it purchasable online, or
It's
would you
going to
guys-
be.
It will be.
We're gonna have
Yeah.
it available on iTunes, Amazon. We're gonna have it available through all those.
Right,
channels.
right now, if you want to order it, Facebook, Sins of a Nation. Go on there and say, "I want a copy. This is my name,"
is
and
the
we will find you on Facebook because we're recording all of it. So we'll make sure we get to you and let you know how much shipping is going to be, or we'll meet it or whatever. It doesn't matter. We'll probably
As long as the music's heard.
yeah, absolutely,
See,
man.
that's true heart
Yeah,
for your
yeah,
fans.
yeah.
And it's
And
good
it-
to do.
You know what? There's a lot of bands out there who, just cookie cut. They do the same old thing, and they try to get this sound that everybody likes, and then people selling CDs for $20 and $25, and that's not the way we are. CDs are going to be $10.
Yeah.
And, it's
Cool.
it's 10 songs and an intro, and every song was recorded at the finest studio we could ever imagine.
The lucky people that have gotten to hear it so far, they're calling me every.
Us being one of them.
They're calling me every other day, going, "Well, I have a new favorite song. I have a new favorite song." Nobody can pick a favorite song because they're all 10 good. There is no fill. I mean, there is no filler on this album. Absolutely not. We are so gung ho and excited about it. We can't wait for you guys to join us at the CD release party
it's gonna
and
be fun.
and air it and everything. And yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Well, like what you were saying about the cookie cutter bands, it's funny, but if it wasn't for those cookie cutter bands back in the early '80s, Guns N' Roses would not have a career.
I agree.
Right.
Now, 80s is different. Now, today's, and you know what? I love.
But you know what? The more cookie cutter bands you have, the better it is for you to come out. Because, like I said, after 60 fucking years of this existence of music, this genre, you're not going to do anything that hasn't been done before.
No, there's
but what you
12
are going to
12
do
notes.
is something that is, like you said, represented in such a well form. And the best example I can use with that, okay, the car. You got the 1880 Model T Ford, and you have the 2011 Ford Mustang. They're both still cars, but like, damn, I mean, the 2011 Ford Mustang and the Model T Ford. Okay, do I want a car that I can outrun, or do I want a car that's gonna make me wanna run into somebody? Once I put some armor plating on it and stuff.
Oh, of
but yeah, you're gonna do pretty much the same thing that's done out there, but you're doing two things. You're not going out of your way to try to be this groundbreaking, innovative, new entity, that's reinventing the wheel, but at the same time, you're not duplicating, on purpose, because that's just, a contrived sound. You're not purposely duplicating what's already out there.
Well,
that's what's going to help you.
That's why we just, took a couple of good sounds and just meshed them together.
There you go.
That's pretty much what
and
we
they're
did.
all our
Make
sounds,
it work.
too.
Yeah. And then, when people hear it, they're going to say, okay, well, that's Sins of a Nation. And, it's going to get to that point once everybody buys the album. It'll get to that point.
Oh, yeah.
You know how you turn on the radio right now and you have no fucking idea what band it is? You know what I mean? 'Cause you're like, I don't know. Who is this? I don't know. It's either blah, blah, blah.
Just
You're-
running down a list of like,
Right.
and then you're wrong on all of them.
Exactly. But you're going to know when Sins of a Nation is on.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to know. I mean, we
And
have
that's the way it's
distinct
supposed to
sound.
be.
Yeah.
Like, we all know from like the first opening chords or riffs or even drum beats, we know that's Slayer, that's Megadeth, that's
Absolutely.
Metallica, that's Iron Maiden, that's Motorhead, that's Deicide,
yeah.
that's Crypt, that's, Crucifix.
No
You
question.
know this, and you don't even have to think about it. Like, I don't care what anybody says. People say that they're not the greatest musically talented band, but I know Venom when I hear them.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, when
Distinct.
that
Very distinct.
drum comes through, it's like, are you listening to Venom? Like, yeah, man. Typo negative. We need to. This whole cookie cutter shit. It may get you some temporary, notoriety, but that's going to run out real fast.
It is.
Yeah.
Because do I want to hear a band that sounds like Disturbed, or do I want to hear Disturbed? Like one of the reasons why a lot of your cover bands are successful is because, and I was even thinking about for a while doing a Living Color tribute band.
Wow. I've never seen that before. That
There
would be-
isn't
that
one,
would be
but I
really
just
cool.
fought against it. I was only going to do it solely for money. that's it. Because, I got the dreads and like, okay, I can play pretty much all their shit and I can rip Vernon Reid like it's nothing.
There you go.
But it's just the thing of, I didn't want to fall into that trap, but damn, man, you can make some seriously retarded money with that, especially in the summer.
Oh, jeez.
But with that, you would have to find a real singer to like bring out that essence of Corey Glover. But then the difficult part is, say when we all separate, go our own ways, and I get the two females I want from my, 3-piece goth metal project. Hey man, weren't you to do that Living Color tribute? Yeah, but this is what I'm doing. Hey, it's that guy that was in that Living Color tribute. Yeah.
Do you get that a lot with being in Judas Beast?
Oh yeah,
Pieces of a Nation?
I am Judas Beast when I walk down the street. Judas Beast. No.
But that's the thing. We all have our personas and we all have our separate lives. But together, this is a force that really is to be reckoned with.
Well, that's the thing I've been bringing out earlier. I've been asking you about the age difference here. Because
Oh,
obviously
yeah.
I was saying outside, you've got the baby face, and then
Oh,
you guys
shucks.
obviously are, still younger looking guys, but you're older than him.
Dave. Yes. Older
We
than
probably bumped into each other a couple of times in the scene.
We're seasoned veterans.
You know what's funny? Actually, when we were in California, Dane got carded more than I did.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
Well, he doesn't have the tattoos. You've got the piercings and
Yeah.
the tattoo. You
But
look
still.
threatening. This guy walks in, they're
So I
just
look
like,
threatening now.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm threatening looking.
Well, that's one of the cool things. Like, because if we all remember, Mick Mars was the oldest person in Motley Crue.
And the ugliest.
He is the ugliest by
Ugly.
far. He
Mick
was
Mars is ugly.
Hey, just because he looks like a hunchback sometimes.
Well,
Not
yeah,
me.
Actually, Vince Neil said he looked like Cousin It
Well, okay.
with black hair.
I felt bad because one of my students, actually, I teach guitar over at the Naperville School of Rock on Washington Street. One of my students told me, why he looks like that, right? I'm like, why? He was like, he's got this horrible disease, this degenerative
he does.
disease. And I'm like, oh, I actually feel bad for
He
him.
does.
Well, he
Yeah.
didn't look like that. He didn't have it back then.
He was just ugly then.
Yeah,
with long black hair.
Yeah.
right. It's... But we all have our personas, and yes, I guess I'm the baby face of the group. Well, you know what? Someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
so.
Somebody does.
Which is
Man, make it work for you. Make it work for you.
Oh yeah, the groupies love me. But we're really excited to drop this album. We're really excited to hit Chicago hard, especially the areas that we haven't really gotten to go to yet in the time we've been recording. This band is really. I mean, when we played at Reggie's, we played with some great bands. But one thing that everybody kept saying throughout the whole night is, you guys really put on a show, and that's what we do.
And that's
every
what it's
time.
about.
Oh yeah, we are.
Make a fucking circus out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just need those breakdown stripper cages now for the
Yeah.
sizes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Have some plus size strippers in there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
for the
absolutely.
Thighs.
for the men who
Firm thighs, okay? Firm thighs, not the slotchy.
I worry about you, Tony.
Yeah.
Somebody's worried about me.
we all
You
got
don't need the cages. You can start out with poles. You can start out with go-go dancers. Whatever works.
We actually have a pole dancer who's doing a video for us.
Oh, see, there you go.
She is awesome. The guy who cuts my hair, he used to play in Dope. Really badass. Dead serious, yeah. His name's Ricky Hicks, and he is he's best tattoos ever. He's a hairstylist, cuts hair, and his girlfriend is a pole dancer, and she's doing a video for us. And he's actually doing rock image consulting right now.
Wow.
It is the
That's
single
pretty
coolest
cool.
title I've ever heard in a
That
job.
is pretty cool.
It is.
Rock
Hey, if there's
image
not a job out
consulting.
there that fits your personality, make one up.
Absolutely.
Damn Skippy.
He told me that, and I'm like, well, you got your first client right here. It worked out perfect. But we're really working our hardest to give our listeners and our fans what they deserve, and that is an awesome experience at every show, quality merchandise, an amazing CD to listen to, and something to believe in, and that's what we're bringing. to
And
the
I think
table.
we're getting that from you cats. I'm sure Dennis and Morgan will say that we've picked up no phony or contrived, but then again, you're not going to get that on my show anyway. Like I said, you come real, come hard, or get the fuck out of here. I will not stand.
Everybody's coming.
Yes, I said come.
I'm glad somebody else picked that up.
I was like, come hard. What are you talking about, Tony? Your mind's been in
We're
another
talking
place
late
today.
night.
All night, dude. Now I got.
Hey, if you're under 21, you ain't supposed to be listening to this show anyway.
I gotta use the hand sanitizer again now.
Hey, want to pass them to me now? I'm feeling kind of dirty over here.
Those cross stitches across the street, I'm like, I love that slam radio.
I did want to say just a little something about. We were talking earlier about Chicago and the music scene. I do want to say when we went out to L.A. To record with Joe, our first night there, we got off the plane and we go to this club, and one of Joe's friends playing. They throw us up on stage in L.A. I've only been in this band 6 months. The only thing we've done is written this album, pretty much. So Dave and I have never really freestyled. We went up there and did ZZ Top, Led Zeppelin. We did it, and LA went nuts. They absolutely went crazy. That place went ape shit.
See, that's beautiful. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to doing that. I've had my reservations about LA. It's like the birthplace of the glam scene. But you know what?
So much fun.
I want to do LA. I want to do Texas. I want to do Arizona. I want to do all the city. I found out that Tennessee, which is not too far from us, has a pretty big, ridiculously huge metal scene.
Huge metal scene, and for years.
I'm like, Tennessee?
yeah.
Really?
Not only
Yeah.
is their fried chicken awesome, but their metal band.
Yeah, and
Well, their fried chicken has to be awesome because, the same county where Jack Daniels is made is totally bone dry.
We got to tell Dusty that.
Bucket of chicken,
Yeah.
Jack Daniels, and a metal band. I'm good for the night.
You know
See,
what?
there you
I'm
go.
good for the
I
rest
think,
of my life.
I think
That
my
sounds
birthday
good,
party
right?
just got planned.
Yeah, and the other place too, one of the other cool places is Kelly, Danielle, Jared, Ashley, Morgan, all you guys. I want to let you know in Florida is a really cool place down there. I mean, just the state is just cool. There's no, they don't take state income tax out of your checks or anything.
Oh,
They-
kick ass.
Yeah, so
I'm moving to Florida.
Oh man, I'm telling you, it's unbelievable.
If it wasn't for the heat and sunlight, I'd have been down there a long
Because
time
of the
ago.
hurricanes, Dan.
well, and they take they take the money from the tourists. That's what, and they let their people live there.
Disney
and they
World
treat
has
them
done
right.
so good for them.
Yeah,
all
absolutely.
Disney is
Not so good for Michael Jackson.
No, not so good for Michael Jackson. But it is cool down there. It really is. That's another cool place that I want to go tour. And so you guys that I mentioned, get on your freaking game and get us a freaking show down there.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Well, we've come to an ending of another great, awesome show here at Slam Internet Radio on A Piece of Metal. I want to give a thanks and show some serious love to these guys in Sins of a Nation. You guys want to give some shout outs to some peeps out there? Your two bandmates that are missing in action with us, who show some love to them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just the two crazy bastards that couldn't make it here, but hopefully they're doing well, and
We love
we'll
them.
see them on Thursday.
See him at band
Yeah,
practice.
band rehearsal Thursday. Glen Ellen.
Oh, yeah.
We're there.
Cool. Give some shouts.
right.
Plug your shit.
Yeah, and I just want to say, Jenny, I'm so sorry that your grandfather passed away today, and you're in my prayers tonight.
Sorry to hear that.
And Kelsey, I love you, and I love you too, Jenny. And you guys take care, and thanks a lot.
Love you, Mom. Hell yeah. Hey, you know what? Everybody's got to say something to their mom. You know,
Absolutely. Hey, Mom, I love you too.
But thanks to all the fans who tuned in tonight.
Absolutely.
It was great.
Definitely thanks to all of you all.
Yeah.
And you know what? Hop on the Facebook. Go add your friends, and we'll see you at the next show.
All right.
Which is July 3rd at Q's. I was listening.
You know what? You were very good. Let's bring her to other places.
I got her in here for a reason, other than to insult.
Because I know my shit and I know the name of the station.
And you like picking on me. Let's just go ahead.
I pick on you, Joe picks on me, it works.
Okay, it's a beautiful.
I try to stay out of it all.
That is just the quiet.
I was about to say, who the fuck is Dennis picking on? He's taking the Kirk Hammett role in all of this.
The rage is building up.
One more plug.
Go right
She's
ahead.
probably sleeping by now, but love you, Amy.
And hey, you guys, thank you for having us.
Oh yes.
No problems,
You
man.
guys were awesome.
you for
Thank you.
coming.
Let us know when that CD release party is. We're going to do a live show on that one.
Yeah, you'll know. You'll be right next to us.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, we're going to go ahead and shut down things here at Slam Internet Radio. You've been listening to A Piece of Metal, and catch us next week and every week, Tuesday nights from 9 to 11:30. To everybody that was out there listening to you, love you. You're awesome. Love, peace, and metal to everyone.